We're about to find out, though. Team Liquid versus Solary, second series of the day on stream. This is round 2 still. Both teams were able to take 1 win in their opening series of the day. Let's see who's going to go 2-0, who's going to go to 1-1.
And also, this matchup is so unbelievably important for both as we automatically start off Team Liquid on offense. It is arguable for a lot of people that have been following them that this match would be more important to Team Liquid.
Oh yeah, for
have
sure.
Not shown very good bounce back ability once they have taken a few losses, and this might not be the start thereafter. Yukis couldn't find target.
Actually, both teams.
Yeah, an opportunity or two.
Yeah, they both had moments where posts are saving them, but also at the same time they're being denied by their opponent's posts. So not ideal. Bit of a scary start for both lineups, but I would definitely agree with you there. Team Liquid need this win really badly. They haven't been resembling Rubber very much with, like you mentioned, their bounce back ability. I like that. Is that in the dictionary? That if it's not, it should definitely be added in there in the Shogun section, Shogunisms. You know, it's the description.
It was supposed to be multiple words there, not one.
Well, you know, obviously, if it's going to be in the dictionary, we need to have a description of what it means. So you could just have bounce back ability, and then underneath, not Team Liquid.
Oof, ouch. Well, you know, a good way that you don't have to do bounce backs is winning 3-0 on the day. So Team Liquid can just do that instead, and we can question about their ability to bounce back ability. We're going to make this one word. Then we'll question it a different day. But for now, Speed looking for the shot. Couldn't quite get there in time. Almost 2 minutes gone now. Still no goals, and barely a half chance for either side.
You know, if you've got a team who have high bounce back ability, what would you do to prevent them from activating that? What would that be called? Smother ability? I don't know if that's the word that you'd go for. But I guess that's what Solary are looking to do in this matchup. Smother them. They're just trying to, oh dear, that's the center ball almost, and good recovery by Kux to make sure Exotic's not going to be all over it. Interesting game number 1. Chance for Exotic again. He goes low on the challenge, but Speed is right there with him. Interesting fact, Exotic, I believe, holds the all-time record for individual game score in a win over Speed. What was the score? 62-1 or something?
It was bad, dude. It was bad. Speed
may have left the lobby, but I don't see how that's important.
You know,
it's not a relevant piece of information, really.
I mean, if Exotic wanted to try and throw out the fire, he can just say he didn't notice.
Yeah.
I think that Speed was playing almost the same way of sorts, as that is going to go far side. Oh, wow. That came so close. Huge warning. Man. This might be a little bit more than that off the backboard. Speed will take away.
Team Liquid with the just prehistoric defensive positioning. I don't know why Fruity and Kux decided that just being slightly off the goal line would make matters easier for them. It clearly didn't. Got to get inside that net. Just move your car over. Just 1 or 2 car widths, and suddenly you're on the right side of the goal line. It's far easier to make those stops. Now Speed is 1v1 with Carrion. He'll be disappointed with his finishing touch, but Carrion will be delighted to see that it just bounced straight out up towards him.
Now, one thing that Team Liquid fans will be looking out for, especially with Speed, is just how good those dribble transitions truly are today. When he's at his best, he is so difficult to stop, getting from one side of the goal to the other. As Fruity's going to start chasing down. We're going to be able to shoot from here, but he might be able to set. That just sets up Carrion for a long clear. Kux, I think he's almost surprised that he got a chance to continue that one. He just stopped moving midair. Speed will take over, and Yukis is very deep.
Yeah, Kux didn't want to waste his boost. He thought he would need it to recover, but then he realized, wait a minute, I've still got the ball. I might as well just reactivate that boost, keep air dribbling. But yeah, this is a team who are very fun to watch. It's just another one of those teams in the category of world-class offense. Could concede at any time. That's where Team Liquid are right now in the world of Rocket League for me. And you know, Solary are they're literally the baseline. They're the team that you should be beating if you're going to be making a deep run into one of these regional events. But they're always going to be there. Top 16. If they're Solary in there, I'll be pretty shocked. Who knows? Maybe this is their big step-up tournament where they're going to take things to the next level. So far, it hasn't looked like it, but neither team have been too inspiring. I would say, though, most of the chances have fallen to Solary because of Team Liquid's somewhat suspect defensive positioning. Still 0-0, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has been Solary expecting them to play a lot cleaner. Is this going to be a huge chance?
Whoa.
Exotic takes it. Just dunks the ball right over the top. Not a chance.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you saw there that Speed had to back up into the goal before he was able to drive forward into this challenge. And you can't waste time making these little maneuvers in Rocket League. We don't have time for three-point turns and parallel parking. It's all go, go, go at the top level. And unfortunately, just like I mentioned for earlier on in the game with Fruity and Cux, Speed's gotten a bit too far forward in the goal, and that's meant that when the ball goes back post, he has to reverse before he can go forward. Time wasted. Game 1 for Solary, just like that.
That was, I mean, there was a couple more chances for Solary, but if this series continues to look like that, I would be shocked. Needs to be more chaotic. You said Team Liquid have got one of the best offenses out there. It's time to start showing it, really. That was very tame, actually, from both sides. And I think a timid game would definitely suit Solary a lot more.
I think this was, defensively exactly what you come to expect from Team Liquid. They just put themselves in difficult positions, and they have to, go fly up in awkward angles. They have to challenge at very, difficult positions, and maybe late going for reads and blocks instead of just a solid 50-50 because of the way that they're setting themselves up for it. But I do think that they're going to be putting two and two together a bit more in offense. The passing for Team Liquid is usually a big threat. The solo plays are usually a big threat. There weren't too many of those in the first game. Unfortunately, though, the defense was exactly what we've come to expect from them. There we go. 1 goal for Liquid in 10 seconds. Didn't take long, and it's just good placement from Cuxer this time.
Yeah, Yukis tried his hardest. His first touch definitely put him in trouble. And he just couldn't quite scramble away. But well played from Team Liquid. They spotted the mistake and just swarmed all over them.
Yeah, Exotic kind of taking a leaf out of Team Liquid's defensive playbook, which is the wrong one.
Matter.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. We've been talking a bit about, poor kickoffs
guys,
today.
Yeah, just get ready for the Johnny Boy rant
Oh,
kickoff.
Man. Well, there's the good and the bad here, because, yes, Liquid have played a really risky strategy. They've left themselves open to the dunk kickoff. However, that is still a huge play out of Carrion. So, unlike the kickoff complaints I had in the Top Block series, we can for now just say, well done. Liquid got outplayed. Carrion's approach there caught them off guard. We'll see if Liquid will adapt.
You're gonna have to start rapid firing your analysis here. These goals are going far too quick.
Wait, they scored again? Oh my goodness, you're right. There's another goal. What is there really to be surprised about? This is just Team Liquid, right?
Ball hit, goal, explosion. There you go.
There's
the analysis. Oh, let's do it again.
Okay, actually well played. Solary are reacting brilliantly to the kickoffs and how they're developing. That was another big bump there after the kickoff was kind of going in the favor of Team Liquid. Yeah, Team Liquid's passing is as usual. It's a real threat. Oh, that's a good shot. Carrion denied by the underside of the bar. It's going to hang about near the back wall, so no follow-up just yet. Now there will be. Fruity. Oh, it's looking awkward for him.
Oh, no! Okay, it worked. That's all fine. Wasn't even a problem for a momentary moment, but this very well could be. Top corner.
Man.
Exotic gets his second in 2 games, and I don't know. Let's find a good word for this play. One word, Johnny. How would we describe?
One word?
Calamity?
Yeah, I think that's an accurate word.
I like calamity.
Calamity's definitely appropriate in this case. Solary with the back left kickoff, and now that's some real synergy to bring their next player in.
Oh,
no way, is that on target? You're joking. Cux has done well. He's just stayed with it and stayed goal side the entire time. Now Exotic stealing shot on target and in. Solary applying the squeeze with some huge outplays.
Exotic these last few months making such a name for himself. Those that do follow the one scene, he did come ever so close. I think he was always Khaled that he actually took down, wasn't it?
Yeah, Exotic had a good run in ones in the offseason for sure. He's a monster. And one of the things to notice about him is that he loves making those flashy outplays. He's not always trying to play grounded and solid and look for the 50-50 game. He's got the mechanics. He can play fancy as well. He can be unpredictable. But yeah, this series has been nothing but unpredictable so far. It's been incredibly fast-paced. We had a 1-goal game to start things off. Now we just can't stop scoring at both ends. As another one goes in for Exotic. Team Liquid might be falling apart, Shogun.
This is one of those games where you look at it and you compare this to other esports, and you say, all right, how long was between each game? Oh, it was a half a minute. How did this much change in half a minute?
Well, see, the thing is, the outcome has changed, but had 4 goals gone into Liquid's net in the first game, I wouldn't have been surprised. There were so many positions where they looked really awkward. You know, the balls...
At this rate, they could be looking at 12.
Certainly, you know, like if Liquid conceded 12 goals in a game this season, I don't think anyone who's been paying attention to how they defend would be surprised. They end up in such ridiculously awkward positions. And I think they really just have to go back to the drawing board, take a look at some of the other top teams in EU right now who are so much harder to score on, because what they're doing, it just doesn't work at all. And at least it doesn't make life easy for them. They're still a good enough team to compete at the highest level, which tells you, you know, a lot about their midfield game and their offense. As Tuxer is now looking for a double, he's spiraling into it, and what a pass that's going to be. Fruity, you're not allowed to miss that goal after an assist that beautiful.
Look at that, just slices at it. Exotic's got no chance. Solary have got no chance. I'll tell you who has got a chance this now. Team Liquid for as weird, if that's a nice way of putting it. Their defense has been, they're only within 1 goal of this, and we have seen 7, Johnny, before even half the game has been played. This might be number 8. Shut down by Exotic, and he's got a massive block. This could still be number 8. In comes Exotic, can't win the challenge.
Yeah, solid play there by Fruity. And he's actually ran on ahead and demo carry and in the Solary half. Look at the space that Fruity's bought Cuxton's speed. Cuxter gets it through the challenge, but it's fine pretty well for Solary here. This will be quite easy for them to dilute the pressure now. It's still, it's such a great game to demonstrate what to expect when Team Liquid are playing. They might score on any attack, they look threatening. I mean, every single time Liquid attack, they do look dangerous. And you can't say that about every team at the top level of EU right now, certainly worldwide as well. But they also look like they could concede at any time. Oh, Freddy's rebound just wide. Liquid are asking a lot of questions to Solary right now.
Well, will they get too excited and get caught on the counter? Solary did take quite a bit of time to get that one going. In fact, they've given Fruity a lot of space. Exotic wants to go back for boost. It's right back into that final third. Looks like they're very far forward, though, and he's ended up losing the race for it after he had to try and track back. Long clear. That's the midfield. Pass over to Speed. Speed goes for net, and Exotic heads up as always, but they might still have to try and drag out another save, and they have done so.
That was a huge
not
read.
getting caught out by the weird angles.
Yeah, it was great passing from Liquid, but Exotic was able to follow every single touch and got in the way of the shot at the end of it all. Brilliant interception by him. And that interception is the one thing that's keeping them ahead right now, because Liquid are running rings around them at midfield. They're just really not giving Solary any touches in the ball. Now Solary do get a few consecutive hits, and briefly, see what the blue half looks like. Liquid are right back into offense. And, you know, as long as Liquid can stay away from the defensive half, they do look pretty good. They look great, in fact. So for them, more than anybody else, offense is the best defense. They need to get away from defense, just not do any goalkeeping. Don't have to do any defending midfield passes. Once again, Liquid on the attack, find success. What a read by Cox. He's just faster than Yukis in the play.
I do love this setup as well from Speed. He just drags it to the right, forces an angle that he can also jump right into, which means that there's going to be a fantastic bounce for Cux. Now 4 each, and this is massive. Team Liquid desperately need the next goal. Could very well be coming up right here. They do have decent possession. Speed will wait for his chance. Long clear hits the ceiling, so he's not going to get the distance that he was after. Exotic takes it down. I think they're going to want to try and get us to the floor now, Solary. Or maybe that bounce actually give them something to work with. No, that one's definitely something you're not going to play around with. So 4 each. Next goal, the most important one.
So far, so good for Liquid. They're not in huge trouble from the kickoff. So Solary have had a lot of very sneaky kickoff strategies, so that's already a big win for Liquid in overtime.
Lucas back flips. Cux, they can go chasing, actually. He's got a good angle. Kyrian again. Able to just move in at the right possible moment. A few defensive mistakes here from Solary, but they have been covered. Speed takes over. Don't know what his boost situation looks like. I don't know how the team's boost situation looks like, especially after Carrion did move through and took a number of them. Fruity drops down. Again, good territory for Team Liquid. Now they've got to make it worth something. A midfield demo from Exotic. Going to take away a lot of their plans.
Fruity's playing very well right now. I don't remember the last time he made a bad touch. Every single time he hits the ball, he goes towards either a blue player or it'll be in a position where Solary don't have an easy time collecting the ball. So this is some brilliant play out of Fruity in the most important match of the series for Team Liquid. Now Speed with a redirect attempt. Oh, he saved it. He just got way too high up on the ball, on the play rather. Almost couldn't get out of the way after that. Still look at Fruity and Liquid's abilities to play keep away. That's a chance for Fruity. Oh, he's missed it. And now it's the counter-attack for Solary. Cuxter scrambling back.
Speed up. Wants the double. It's already up though for Ukis. Nice half volley clear for him. There's the interesting duality of the double taps is that you do actually offer the backboard clear as well for your opponents. It's still one of the best ways of scoring as well. Cuxter clears down to absolutely nobody. This has turned into a bit of a hard clear battle, and Solary look like they got better. Speed to Ukis. And that might have actually been better to leave for Exotic. I think he had the better angle to it. Instead, he's now being bullied. Cuxter can't get the set. Might drop, but Fruity holds midfield. In fact, no, he doesn't. Easily danced around. Speed now on the backboard. This ball is just bouncing around the field. It's doing shuttle runs across, but that is a massive block from Ukis.
Liquid have calmed down somewhat. They're giving each other a bit more space to play with now. And when they spread out like this, their passing is a lot better. Oh, suddenly, it's an open backboard. Speed's rebound lands, and the game is won for Liquid. That looked like it was clearly going to be intercepted by Exotic, but he misses right ahead of the ball. Did he think that was on target with the first touch? I guess he did, because the backboard bounce has evaded him. Liquid back in the game, and thank goodness for that, because if they lost this one, I have a hard time seeing a comeback happening.
I think the way they were playing as well in that second half, there was enough of it for a long enough period of time to look like they've truly settled, because it was catastrophic in the very beginning there. They were conceding goals. What was it, 4 in the opening 2 minutes?
Yeah.
That is outrageous to be conceding at this sort of level, especially given that the shots they were conceding against were mostly their own fault. So the fact that they have cleaned that up is a much better shout. They've got themselves a win here. They can try and build from this. For Solary, there's been a lot of scramble defense, I feel like. It's less of a case of them not allowing the play to happen, but more trying to react to it as quickly as possible. And if Liquid are starting to build into this, that approach might cost them.
Well, you know, there's a reason why so many people are surprised and so many people are upset by Liquid's underperforming in the first RLCS regional and in this season as a whole. And that's because this team, at least on paper, and this team potentially, it should be better than Solary, based on what we've seen so far from these players' careers. But they end up losing again and again to teams at Solary's level and even around them. But, you know, if they can stop defending, if they can get the ball to the midfield and start to play that very aggressive style of defense where you're challenging early, making interceptions rather than saves, then now Liquid look phenomenal. They look like a team who can win tournaments. But they can't play that way in every single game. They can't play that way in every single series. Some teams aren't going to give you the luxury of attacking them 24/7. And although Liquid might get away with that against Solary, and they might get away with it for the rest of the series if they can keep things up, it's not a reliable foundation as we move forward. What is going on here? As all 3 Liquid players, not really sure whose ball it was. And now here comes Exotic. He'll capitalize on the confusion. And it's 1-0 again, as Liquid may have hurt themselves in their confusion.
I think for many Liquid fans, they were hoping that that phase had gone from this series. It is still very much there. Pretty far here for Solary.
Speed just headbutted the crossbar, Shogun. So it's definitely some pain in that play.
Yeah. It's not something I would typically recommend. Really.
I mean, this on the Utopia Coliseum, the crossbar looks like it's made out of like solid blocks. I imagine that that's like some kind of rock surface. So definitely charging head first into. I mean, I'm surprised that that wasn't a write-off, really, for Speed's car. It looks like he hasn't even taken a scratch. That's impressive. Psyonix have really put together some sturdy vehicles.
Yeah, the vehicles very much are all or nothing, really. There's just any mistake or any issue with them, they do tend to just explode.
Yeah.
Which is, a slight design fault, but oh well. It's part of the risks of the business.
Does that mean that you're not in favor of demos existing in the game, Shogun? If you call it
means I'm in favor of much easier demos.
Imagine that if somebody bumps you in Rocket League, then you just get a dent in the side of your car and you're steering slightly to the left from then on. You're like, oh, come on, man.
Any and all custom matches with me do feature demo on contact friendly fire.
That's something I didn't even realize I wanted to see this, but that would be brilliant. Can you imagine? There's gradual demolition of vehicles.
That would be
and at some
fantastic.
At some point, somebody's car is getting so unplayable that they just want to get fully demoed so they can respawn fresh because they're like, guys, come on, I've only got one wheel. Somebody come over and demo me. I can't even move. Somebody please make that happen. Say, Alex, please.
Gonna be a good clear, and currently this is great for Solary. And do you know what also is great right now, Johnny? It's about that over on our B stream, twitch.tv/eLeagueTV. My boys, the ones that I said are going to go 3-0. Endpoint currently 2-1 up against Venk. So if you don't want to go and catch that, be sure to go and take a look over there.
Yeah, that's the matchup
really do about the ridicule again today, Johnny. This might be a good chance for Kyrian, but he couldn't get the pinch shot he was after.
Yeah, I've got a sneaky suspicion I'm going to be ridiculed on the desk today after my prediction for Top Blokes going 3-0 has already fallen to pieces in the most one-sided fashion possible. That's the chance for Yukis. It's going to go away from him. Liquid are having to do a lot more defending, and they do look more organized than earlier on in the game, so credit to them for that. We're criticizing them a lot for looking awkward in defense, but they have picked it up here. They need to start working towards scoring sooner rather than later, though, because Solary aren't a team to give away free goals.
Certainly not. This is very much, especially after the 9-goal game we just had, a bit of a cooldown of sorts. Fruity, though, would like to give his team the opportunities, open up a couple of angles. Off the backboard, it is going to start looking towards Cux here, whose job is going to be to keep the pressure on. Liquid, just over a minute here. They don't want to drop this. They'd be dropping match points to their opponents. So it's a little bit of a calamity, but Kyrian, he can recover that. He gets an extra touch. Speed didn't want to care about it too much, though. Over the corner, Cux there with the set. Fruity tries diving in. But Exotic, as always, this lad's name I've brought up so many times in this series, has managed to bail his team out. Yeah,
Exotic's playing a great series today. I wonder if Cuxer had more space, if he had, more time rather at the near post than he realized on that last play. As infield pass, great save by Carrion on that one. Fruity rifled it towards the net. But our Liquid, they've got to push for the goal. They've got to press for this equalizer. They might have snatched at those last two opportunities and rushed themselves a little bit. Now time is really getting away from them. There's no time for anymore. Wow. Oh, what a pass. Speed dropping it down onto Cuxer. Even that's gotten saved by Carrion. Solary, they are not going to give away anything in this game, apparently. Massive mind game by Exotic. He's slow playing out of defense, styling on Liquid.
Carrion has been the one to keep the ball out, and it has often been Exotic to get rid of the danger. Huge performance from Solary. They're up by 2-1.
That was such confidence by Exotic at the end of this game with the mind game in defense while you're already winning 1-0 in the final seconds of the game. Follow it up by a little bunny hop dribble where he's just jumping along, having a good time. They're, going to be jumping IRL. I think keep this one up today because this is a solid looking Solary lineup, and they, we talked them up as being the more consistent of the two teams here, but even they've not had the results that maybe they were hoping for this season. They recently qualified out in the promotion tournament from season 9 of our RLCS rival series, but since then they went in a bit of a slump, losing most of the off-season community tournaments very early on. So this is definitely a return to form for Solarian. It's great to see, especially for Carrion and Exotic, who had that great run at the end of season 9 and then just fell into the gutter. Looks like the Yukis acquisition has pulled them out of it.
Well, they'll definitely feel like they're almost the forgotten team of sorts of that rival series group that ended up coming up. You know, Vodafone Giants didn't even qualify, and they're sort of being talked about
Solary
much higher.
They beat the Giants. The Solary were the team who were, denying the Giants their right of passage into the very top level of Rocket League play in Europe. And now the roles have been completely reversed. Giants are they're at the peak. They're one of the teams who are in the conversation for best in the region. Certainly the most consistent team in the region. Top 4 in every single grid that's happened so far this year. But maybe Solary can get back up to that level. They look capable against a Liquid team. And, going 1-0 against Liquid twice in a series is impressive. Usually games with Liquid involved are extremely high scoring for both teams.
Yeah, clean sheet against Liquid. Very difficult. Oh my goodness, Cux. Had to pre-jump it. Still managed to get down just in time to save the shot. This has been such a disciplined performance from Solary. It feels like this is a team that knows their strengths and weaknesses, and they are building into them as much as they possibly can. You know, rather than forcing the ball away from Exotic, just let him play the way he wants to, especially when you're a goal up.
That was a waste, though. Exotic was probably screaming for that ball to be passed to him. He was wide open at the sideline, and unfortunately for him, the defender just went straight down the middle. That's a huge shot from deep in the half. Yukis blasting one at Team Liquid. The mechanical ability of Solary cannot be denied. For me, the synergy and the experience was what was lacking for the most part. And it looks like it's all coming together in this matchup.
Drop into the mid. That shot will be on target, but Yukis will not have an issue apart from the block that came at him. Now suddenly it's chaos mode, and Speed couldn't find the shot on target. And as always, Exotic cleaning up the mess every time he gets the ball on his hood. You know he's at least going to get a player, and he's at least going to get the midfield for his team. It's off the backboard. Cux there looking for the challenge. Managed to take out Carrion. Pinch not as far as Exotic might have wanted, but he'll still be very happy with the territory gained. As he almost actually managed to find him one more time off the pass. Now another shot on target. Cuxer just makes it.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for Cuxer in that last play. He got the ball past his opponent, who then landed on him. And, that can happen when you're going for a clean outplay to the side or over the top of a player. You're basically putting your car where the ball used to be. So the challenge will, I'll hit you a lot of the time in the face. But, better defense, again, by Liquid. They don't look as vulnerable. Game 1 and 2, they looked all over the place. Games 3 and 4 has been a significant improvement. So well played to them to step it up. But that's, where we're getting to see how difficult Solary can be to beat in these matchups also. And that's a nice redirect by Yukis. He had to really think about how to get on the right side of that ball. Didn't get as much power as he was looking for.
Well, without that game 2, this is a team that would be well below the 1 goal per game conceded in the form of Solary. Just been so on point. They have shut down Team Liquid so much since that game 2. And it's now over 8 minutes since the team scored. Carrion wants Exotic in the midfield. That passing play has been a little bit too frequently gone for. Can't expect a veteran like Cooks here to not be spotting that. Oh, wow. Just avoided the demo. But Fruity's gone hunting still. He refuses to go away. This offers a couple of options now for the team.
It looked like Speed didn't want to go too all in for the demo. He was rotating out, or at least he had the rotation, the exit plan ready. As soon as he missed the first demo, he just left the scene. But that was actually one of those positions where he probably could have turned around and gone for the demo again, and it might have worked because the shot was coming in at a perfect time from Fruity. But yeah, you can understand why Speed wouldn't want to go completely all in for a demo, like trying to go for the goalie, then turn around and go for him again. It is extremely aggressive, and we're in a tie game.
Exotic does finally run out of boost. I think Team Liquid have been asking when that's going to happen for the longest time so far this game. Does drop down. Fruity shot not blocked. Cooks it. Pops it for Speed, who races for it. Outstanding goal from Team Liquid.
Look at the reflex pass from Cux. Fruity just bastard it at him. Cux got bumped up in the air, but he managed to dodge in such a way to pop the ball up for Speed. That's one of the best assists that we're going to see all season. Pure reflex play out of Cuxer. And with very little time left in the game, Liquid looking to send us to game 5.
Carrion wants to try and drop down, but maybe that assist from the Italian magician himself could be enough to send us to game 5. speed. Can't get it past Carrion. Exotic speed to the ball by Fruity. Pass again. These passes have not been solid enough from Solary. They've got the idea that they want to go for it. But lots of them have been too far forward, too high, or maybe a little bit too far behind the person they're trying to pass to. Got to find that accuracy.
Yeah, that was kind of the ranked gameplay mistake. Speaking of...
What is happening here? Backwards.
It's just Team Liquid defending, Shogun. Nothing to see here. Pretty standard stuff. But yeah, you know, the high ball in the infield pass is something that I'm surprised to see Solary go for. If that pass was low, it's so much easier for the player receiving the pass to shoot that ball on target and pick their spot while doing it. So it was a bit of a throwaway there to go for the lob pass. A bit pointless, you know. You might think, or maybe the thought was, if I lob this, then it makes it easier for my teammate to get up and choose where they're going to shoot that ball. But really, I don't think it helps at all. I think the low pass would have made a lot more sense, and it usually does.
So, here we go. Game number 5 coming up next. It's been a bunch of 1-0s, really, hasn't it, here? I feel like if there was a 1-0 for the game 2, I'd be very excited about this game 5, because whilst it might not be the 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, yes, I do keep bringing it up. You're going to get bored of that throughout this season. I don't care. We would have maybe got the best of 5 version of it, but unfortunately, just not the case here.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see something ridiculous out of Liquid's defense, though. If there's one thing that you can be sure of in life, is that Liquid they'll concede in bizarre fashion at a key moment, just when it looks like they're about to pick things up. I don't wish that for them in the slightest. If they can just win this game with some solid play, just get out a nice 1-0 off the solid pass and finish, I'll be happy for them. But it's hard to predict that happening after what we've seen from them recently.
Again, Exotic making a bit of a misread off the backboard, but Cooks there stretches. He does get there. Those of you that were checking out the E-League stream, you'll know before everyone else that my boys, the ones I had going 3-0, Endpoint, have managed to take the win 3-1 against Venks, so they are going to be going into that 2-0 side of the bracket. Well, you know, very easy teams to beat, such as Fadeaway and Renault Vitality await them, so easy for me today, Johnny. I've got everything on lock.
Yeah, you know, if Endpoint end up against Fadeaway, I would probably give them the edge in the matchup, so you might be right, Shogun. You might have picked a good 3-0 team today. Although it didn't look like it when they were, you know, 2-2 against Glory for Builders at the start of the day. I thought, surely that's a terrible prediction out of Shogun. Oh, Carrion's missed the ball. Luckily, nobody on Liquid expected that to happen. Solary on the counter. Speed with some brilliant positioning will swat it clear.
Now Cook's it, looking to take away. He does realize he's got Yukis diving in on him. There's never a loss of pace on Yukis. He just goes something, he lands perfect, and he has pretty much lost no momentum each time, so he's always going to get that second challenge that you don't quite expect. Cook's there, I don't know if he missed that or if he just got called off. Either way, it's difficult to tell, typically with the Batmobile.
He missed. Yeah, he just drove under the ball. It's the Batmobile being a bit too flat there. He just tried to go for the little chip, and it went over the top of him. That's got to be the biggest downside of this car. More than any other vehicle, it will just have those awkward little moments where you try and start a bounce dribble and whiff completely. But Cox is not too bothered by it. He's still getting involved in offense, and it's looking very similar to the last 2 games. Liquid playing a consistent closure to the game, it would seem.
This very well could be another 1-0 if this continues. Carrion over to the corner. Can't quite get it any further than that. Exotic's flip reset. Good enough to get one player out, but Fruity instantly covers. And he's going to keep going on. Fruity bundling everything out of the way. He's opened up enough speed. Who takes the chance?
Big plays by Fruity. What a read. Just changing his mind. He's thinking about diving down low. Instead, gets back on the wall, predicting exactly where the clear was going to go. And it's centered perfectly to Speed, who finished from such a good position that, you know, the offensive Liquid is just, once again, so impressive that they're spreading out, they're giving themselves tons of shooting angles to work with, and when they get one, boy, do they pick their spot.
I think what's most impressive about Fruity's setup there is that it was on one of those Exotic dribble attempts to just try and remove the pressure from the field. Instead, he read it this time around. And what has been one of the greatest strengths for Solary, turn into one of their weaknesses as they now try and team play out, and they've done a fantastic job of it. They might even get a goal. Oh my goodness. 4-way passing play. I'll say it kind of deserved one.
Now Liquid are coming the other way. Speed 2-0. And Solary in the hunt for an equalizer have been totally stretched in the other direction. Yukis didn't know which way to go. Speed beats him to it. And the assist from Cuxer was magical.
We mentioned earlier on, Johnny, how important it felt for Team Liquid to get the 2-0. Might very well be on the way to it. They will not want to drop this. Oh my goodness, Fruity went so quick. Exotic with another shot off the crossbar. And Fruity will move in to get rid. Another booming clear from Cooks here. Finally, the pressure is gone. Speed for the hat-trick. That is a fantastic save from Yukis. Couldn't get an extra touch to keep the pressure on, though.
Yeah, great timing by Yukis. Didn't need to slow down for a split second. Team Liquid also, they can't slow down for a split second. They've got to keep up the pace. Solary are going to bring it to them here. Liquid actually looking for a third goal. Cuxer with a bounce dribble. Successfully this time. Just barely over a minute remaining, and Liquid look good.
That's it. Wants to just keep this ball going. He's got 2 players down just for him. Might even bounce into a shootable spot, but Team Liquid not wanting to commit. As very well they shouldn't be. They're the team with a 2-goal lead. And they're the team that could do about Calamity, but, you know, you always get the feeling that it is just one more jump of the car away as they are flying everywhere. And good luck to Solary if you're going to try and read where that ball is going next.
Well, Solary now extremely low on time, and you can understand why they would play a defensive matchup here, waiting for Liquid to make mistakes, especially after the first 2 games where there were so many, just countless times Liquid were making life difficult for themselves in defense, but that is no longer the case. Liquid are running away with this. They have completely solidified their defensive blunders, and now they're capitalizing on Solary's.
3-0. That is pretty much game done and dusted for Team Liquid. They were forced to worry, but they have managed to get the job finished. Solary will be coming out of this one. I feel like they should feel fine. There was just a couple of mistakes here in this last game. Overall, though, an incredibly solid performance from them.
Yeah, even in losing, Solary looked like by far the more consistent team. Liquid had their lowest of lows early on in this series, and now they've really lifted themselves out of that hole. So credit to them. You know, we can definitely question their consistency, and we can question their defense, but you can't question the fight that they've got to come back from such a disastrous games 1 and 2 defensively here. Luckily for them, you know, although games 1 and 2 of this series were not the cleanest, they still managed to get 1 win there, which made this overall a much easier series for them to play.
Certainly was. So, Team Liquid moved to 2-0, and they will join Fadeaway, Reno Vitality, and Endpoint in that category. All those teams have got 3 chances now to qualify. They have to lose all 3 of them just to not. I mean, very rare that we have seen it, but we have seen it on a few occasions. Fadeaway will obviously know about that more than any of the rest of these teams. But for the most part, this feels most often like one of the most important rounds of the tournament. For those teams, they have come out just fine. Dignitas also able to pop themselves back up to 1-1, along with Triple Trouble, who continue to look a little bit shaky, Johnny. They've gone 3-1 against S2V Esports. So Triple Trouble still not quite hitting the mark just yet.
Yeah, this is you know, a bounce back round for all the teams who have lost in the first round, who you might think, wait, how have they lost that one? But also a real blow to teams like Top Blokes, who are supposed to be on the winning side of rounds 1 and 2 these days. But exciting stuff. Round 3 is where we're going to be breaking these ties.
Absolutely will be, and we'll be getting there very soon after a quick break.